Many people live with a persistent insecurity, the feeling that they lack the innate intelligence required to compete at a high level. They assume that if they aren't born with a certain gift, they're stuck. This assumption relies on the idea that IQ is a permanent, inherited number. Modern neuroscience offers a more flexible perspective. Your brain changes every day, becoming more capable or less effective based on your specific routines. Elevating an average mind requires shifting focus toward habits that physically reorganize how you process information. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. This diagram shows the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new connections between neural clusters. Daily routines provide the physical catalyst for this growth. As connections are used, they pulse and thicken, while neglected pathways eventually fade. The records of history's greatest thinkers show that high-level intelligence often emerges despite early academic struggles. Albert Einstein famously struggled to adapt to the rigid structure of a traditional classroom. Thomas Edison's teachers believed he was incapable of learning, yet he went on to develop some of the most complex technology of his era. Charles Darwin was considered an ordinary student, showing little of the exceptional promise that would later define his work. These figures achieved extraordinary results by practicing specific mental systems, demonstrating that high-level intelligence is something that can be cultivated over time. Constant passive input has become the modern default. Between scrolling and notifications, the brain rarely gets the silence it needs to process information deeply. Breakthroughs often occur during moments of quiet reflection. Einstein used thought experiments to connect old ideas into new insights, following his curiosity without the distraction of external noise. Try enforcing 15 minutes of uninterrupted thinking time. Removing headphones and sitting with a difficult question forces the mind to shift from consuming ideas to producing them. Deep learning requires a level of difficulty that most people try to avoid. Quick comprehension is often mistaken for intelligence, but long-term retention depends on cognitive friction. This is productive struggle. While an easy path fades quickly, a jagged, difficult path creates a permanent trail in the brain. Benjamin Franklin used this by recreating essays from memory, forcing himself to earn every insight. Writing serves a higher purpose than just saving facts. It is a tool for discovering what you actually believe. Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks reveal this process in action. By putting sketches and analytical text on paper, he exposed weak reasoning and identified patterns he couldn't see while the thoughts were still in his head. These habits transform passive data into active intelligence by forcing the brain to wrestle with information. Mental flexibility comes from connecting concepts across different fields rather than hoarding isolated facts. Combining the logic of economics, psychology, biology, and physics creates a multifaceted framework for solving problems. When these subjects interlock, your ability to see relationships improves. Exploring subjects outside your comfort zone provides your brain with new building blocks for future insights. Memory and intelligence are deeply linked. A strong recall system allows you to recognize patterns and deploy solutions with greater speed. Practicing active recall and teaching topics out loud creates the biological stress necessary to strengthen your learning systems. Sustained mental performance is physically impossible without recovery. The brain needs periods of rest to reset and organize the information it has gathered. Getting quality sleep, adding regular exercise, and exposure to sunlight directly optimize the brain chemistry required for focus. Adapting your mental capacity requires more than just intense focus. It requires engineering an environment that allows the brain to function at its peak. History's most effective thinkers relied on consistent daily systems to maintain their edge. Every quiet walk, difficult problem, and night of quality sleep serves as a building block for your future cognitive capacity. Your long-term mental growth depends on the consistency of the neuroplastic habits you maintain today. Moving past the limitations of talent starts with adopting these systems. Subscribe to Brain Library to continue building a stronger, faster mind.